humans. I am Jamie Dawn, your revolutionary astrologer, bringing you your celestial wisdom for this week. And I am recording it on Monday, the 22nd. So let me just say happy birthday to Sagittarius out there. The sun moved into Sagittarius yesterday on the 21st. And I'm going to talk to you about this week's energy and then even touch on next week as we have our final eclipse in the Sagittarius Gemini energy. It's a new moon and it happens to be December 4th. I will do another video for next week talking about it in more detail, but I just want to point to it because we're coming off of the energy of this last eclipse, which was last week. And so some of you are reporting in it's a full moon and there's a little bit of an energetic hangover that often happens at that time. But really, when I talk about an energetic hangover, it has more to do with integration. And when the energy is that big and that intense, even though this was a partial eclipse, it still works. There's still epiphanies, there's still ahas, or there's still moments that don't always make sense, or we had an experience that we're wanting to bask in, or we're wanting to deepen. And I think that's the bigger theme, just to put another pin on the map, for what we're going to start experiencing over the next 18 months, and that is a deepening. We're working with Scorpio, Taurus energy with the nodes of the moon starting officially next January. But as we are exploring the essence of it, or the very beginning of it right now, we're already feeling this sense or push and pull of attachment versus detachment, going deeper versus staying more surface-like. Also, looking at our values, looking at bonding. Who are we bonding with? What are we bonding with? How does it reflect what I truly value in my life? And the reason that I'm bringing this up to this week with Sagittarius energy is Sagittarius is the seeker of truth, the seeker of adventure and experience, and finds truth through experience. And I think, you know, as you've probably heard the quote, experience is the greatest teacher, that is very Sagittarian. Also, open-mindedness and exploration is upon us. Sagittarius is optimistic. It's ruled by Jupiter. And so it often activates this sense of excitement around optimistic learning and taking on a more positive, expansive viewpoint of our world. And I think that's what we're all going to be working with, as well as this feeling of hope. And hope is needed for us as human beings in order to feel as though we can keep going. You know, the past is the past. We can't change that. We can learn from it, and we can adapt and adopt our behaviors accordingly from what we've learned in the present moment. But if we are in the present moment and it doesn't feel good to us, or it feels like overwhelm, or we just have so much going on, we can often lose sight of the bigger picture and get wrapped up in the drama of the moment, and that can take us down some rabbit holes that maybe we don't really want to go. However, with Sagittarius here, this is the gift of shifting cycles and changes. Sagittarius is mutable, and it invites us to be able to let go of some of the deeper dive of things and to widen our perspective, to be able to have some hope and expansive creativity and learning from a more philosophical standpoint so that we can gather more information to become even better versions of ourselves. Now, another thing that I will continue to talk about over the next 40 days and 40 nights, Venus made her move into shadow now in Capricorn. And she's activated with the Capricorn energy. Think of her as the actress on the stage wearing the Capricorn garb. And what she's doing is she's wanting to appear mature. She's wanting to appear serious about her values, about relationships, the way she handles money, the way in which she engages with life. She's also attracted to those who are more mature, maybe those who have some success. She wants to be seen as successful. Now, when she's retrograding, which it doesn't officially start until the end of December, but right now we're in this shadow, and when she is in retrograde motion, it starts to become more personal. And so what we're going to be diving a little bit more seriously into is ourselves, doing more personal work to clean up the past. When we're dealing with retrograde energy, very often we deal with past. And so, and the interesting thing too, I love the 40 days and 40 nights and how it corresponds with many stories from ancient traditions, and how 40 days and 40 nights correlate with time and testing. And it has to do with, I'll reference the story about the Israelites in the desert after they had made it through the Red Sea, if anybody's familiar with that story, and how they wandered for 40 days and 40 nights, and they were really tested, and they were doing this place where they had to let go of the past and form their new culture, their new way of being. And that's what we're going to be looking at with Venus here. So she's going to be testing, or she's going to be drawing us in and bringing people from the past or situations from the past to be resolved. And that we may wander around a little bit to go, I'm not sure how to handle this yet, but just know that Venus is a benefic planet. And so what she can offer to us, if we're willing to do the more serious work with her being in Capricorn, is that we can achieve the results that we're looking for and the solutions that we need to the problems that may show up during this time. And it may also be not just problems, of course. Retrogrades aren't always bad. You know, oftentimes people go, oh, Mercury's retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mars retrograde. Retrograding planets just often bring us to a more personal standpoint, or they make us feel as though there's things that are happening inside of us versus externally. And so we may feel more motivated to heal the past, to go back and do things differently. That if an outside circumstance has been lingering that needs to be cleaned up, this is a perfect relationship, financial cleanup kind of energy. So also, I'm going to put another couple pins on the map, which I'll talk more about in my weekly videos. But December 26th, the day after Christmas, Venus and Pluto will align. They will canoodle. And this is going to have a beautiful aspect to a Virgo moon. So it's a great time to purge any spaces, any items that includes internally, emotionally, mentally, of the things that may be cluttering our lives. And it's a good time for conversations around love or money that can also take place. Now, when we're dealing with Pluto, we're also dealing with power. We're dealing with forcefulness and control. We're dealing with hidden, deeper subconscious things that we didn't even know about. And Venus can activate this energy that comes up and out like a rotor-rooter and says, hey, here's something for you to work with. That could be a good thing. Pluto could give you, this activation with Venus and Pluto could actually give you the love, the money, the awareness that you were waiting for so that you can become a more powerful individual. You know, one of my Kuna teachers says, if we really knew how powerful we were, we would be amazed and we would consciously create this life in a much different way. So I offer that to us. Now, the other thing I will say is that here we are, Monday, November 22nd. We have the sun and the south node canoodling. We may be energized by adventuring into our past. Nothing wrong with that. What do we learn from it? What is it that we want to take with us and build upon? Yeah, we can use our natural talents for creative exploration. All the Sagittarian energy helps to energize our creativity, our positivity, and our desire for adventure. And I would say if you're approaching money, relationships, health, whatever it might be in your own life, do it with a sense of adventure or a sense of curiosity, and allow that to become the gift of, hey, it's a grand experiment. Let's just see where this goes. Because Thursday, we've got Mercury moving into Sagittarius, offering us a more optimistic view as well, giving us more connection and communication, probably some long distances, most likely people that are from different backgrounds or cultures. And this happens to fall on Thanksgiving here in the United States. And so most likely there's going to be a lot of connection with still people on Zoom. Maybe we're separated from family members and friends at this time, and we're able to maybe connect with them through, of course, our technology, but also picking up the phone and talking to them, and having some philosophical conversations could prove to make interesting and fun connections for Thanksgiving dinners, yeah? Also, with Mercury, it's going to be in Sagittarius for a couple weeks, big ideas and exploration through conversation. So it's a great time to collaborate. It's a great time to take on some higher education. It's also a good time to focus on the bigger picture. So again, the gift of Mercury in Sagittarius, it can keep us from getting caught up in the drama of the current moment and get overwhelmed, because I know for myself, and that's all I can speak about, is my own personal experience with overwhelm, but oftentimes it creates that fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so what we can use with Mercury in Sagittarius is to be able to go, wait a minute, what is true in this moment may feel overwhelming, but let me look at the bigger picture. And remember, we've done a lot of work in collaborating and reminding ourselves that we're not alone and we don't have to do it alone. And so really pulling in those who can give us a different perspective is a wonderful way to use Mercury in Sagittarius. The other thing I would say is that Mercury in Sagittarius can be a little bit over optimistic or overly hopeful when it comes to communicating what's really going on. So it's important that we do take a realistic approach still. But I venture to say that with Venus in Capricorn, and especially retrograding, that the juxtaposition here is going to be keeping an optimistic view while still maintaining a realistic, mature approach to what life is showing up for us. And so we just want to be careful that we don't get into dogma, we don't get into my way or the highway thinking, and get so serious about whatever shows up that we come across a little bit like know-it-alls. So that is another thing that we're going to have to watch for. So really allow ourselves to stop talking, start doing, and staying open and curious to everything is going to be a big gift. The last thing I'll leave with you is that relationship dynamics are always up for us. I mention this very often in my videos, but I'll just remind us that when we're looking at it from a relationship standpoint, it's important to speak truth, and that's what Mercury and Sagittarius will do. I sense that many of us will have conversations that allow truth to continue to come out, and it can deepen the connection and intimacy that we have with those that we call beloved. All right, you guys, I really hope that this helps. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and don't forget to find me at jamiedawn.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Have such a good week.